Welcome to the Appraisal Buzzcast, where technology meets the tortured optimism of the modern appraiser. Today, we unveil the winner of the Software of the Year award, a tool so indispensable it's practically your coworker, though far less inclined to steal your lunch. What makes software worthy of such a title? Perhaps its speed, simplicity, or the miraculous ability to keep your reports from looking less like a ransom note. Or maybe, just maybe, it's the rare software that understands an appraiser's life. Deadlines that laugh in your face, and clients who spell your name wrong. Stick around as we unveil the tool appraisers have crowned the hero of their daily grind. Spoiler, it won't fix your existential dread, but it might save you a few hours. Join us after the break.
ACI introduces ACI Sky Workbench, a cutting-edge cloud-based platform designed to streamline UR/AR appraisal report generation like never before. With seamless workflow integration, automated data management, and built-in compliance, Workbench empowers appraisers to work smarter, faster, and with greater accuracy. Join us for the Workbench beta launch and live demos at the ACTS conference in San Antonio on April 5th through 8th. Visit aciweb.com for more info. You're listening to the Appraisal Buzzcast with your host, Hal Humphreys.
Welcome again, everyone. Thanks for joining us for today's Buzzcast. I'm going to bring Hal back as we talk about our guest today. Hey, Hal.
Hello, Jim. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Well, we're doing another episode in our series of Buzzy Award winners. We're really excited about this one. This is for Software of the Year. And this is a pretty big company, and we can't interview the whole company, but we found somebody at the company that I think would be a good representative of it. Let's bring in Matt Codell. Matt, how are you?
Hey, good afternoon. I'm doing wonderful. Glad to be here.
Matt, a la mode was voted Buzzy Award winner for Software of the Year, specifically for Scan to Sketch. Number one, Matt, thank you for being here. I've been with Joel a couple of times when he's taught the Scan to Sketch class. I happen to be a user of a la mode and Scan to Sketch and am a huge fan of the software. This is a unique category for our Buzzy Awards because a lot of our listeners may not have crossed paths with the winners of the other category, but it seems like almost every appraiser has heard of CoreLogic and a la mode. Before we get to the software that won the award, tell us about your history in the industry and how you ended up with this product.
Okay. Oh boy. I started at a la mode as a developer, pretty much fresh out of engineering school in 1992. So that was a little over 32 years ago. My first assignment, after I was sent to the local computer store to purchase parts and assemble my 386DX workstation, my first assignment was to create a dot matrix field mapping for the December 1992 test version of the UR/AR. So I'm that many years old and I've been doing this that long. So from there, though, I got to do more exciting things. Like I wrote the code for our first Apex integration in MS-DOS, and I did product management for our first digital photography and comms database applications for Windows 3.1. I met a lot of appraisers in those early years, traveling to like 60 different cities. I was teaching everyone how to use those early digital cameras, teaching everybody how to become paperless, how to email a PDF, how to do an electronic signature. I even got certified as an appraiser in 1996, so I could more fully understand our industry and our customers. My experience also includes 10 years of running our support department and initiating our 24/7 support team that we came up with in the late 90s. And whether we're, building those early tools or our analytics tools of today, our Titan application on the web, or working on our new UAD mandate, I enjoy getting to factor in all those appraiser interactions over the years to make something that matters to people and can make a difference.
Yeah. So what you're saying is you've been around a minute.
I've been around a little while and I love it.
I love it. It's you know, look, I heard somebody say one time, win total is the worst appraisal software in the world, except for all the others. I've heard the same description of the criminal justice system in the United States. It's the worst criminal justice system of the world, except for all the others. A la mode as a product is, I mean, it's the backbone for a lot of us appraisers out here. It's the tool that we use. And, you mentioned the 24-hour support and the support. You guys do an amazing job of providing support for appraisers out working in the field. Let's talk about the product that won our award. What is Scan to Sketch? How does it work? What is that about?
Scan to Sketch, in very few words, it helps you create a sketch in the field using just your mobile device. That's all you need to take with you is your mobile device. That's what Scan to Sketch is really all about.
And, I was teaching a class earlier this week and pointing out that, I now use Scan to Sketch.
Cool.
It literally saves me so much time being able to just walk around, tag the corners, walk to the next corner, tag the corner, do the thing. How long have you guys had this thing? I literally just came to it within the past 12 months. Joel and I were teaching a class in Oklahoma City, which is where I picked it up. How long has it been around?
So we came out with Scan to Sketch early in 2024 was the very first version of Scan to Sketch. We improved it, a few months later. We created Scan to Sketch because we knew that sketching on a device was always a barrier to entry for people to actually go paperless in the field. We knew the sketch was kind of the hardest thing for people to get used to. We wanted to make it easier, faster, cheaper, so Scan to Sketch was born. There were some other similar applications that were coming out for realtors that would do a big dollhouse and they would do all these fancy things, and they weren't geared towards appraisers. So we thought, an appraiser just needs a footprint of the house and an easy way to do that. What's an easy way to do it? And so we just kind of took our appraiser experience and we made the Scan to Sketch. I can explain. You want me to explain a little more about what it does? I can.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, look, there. You guys have a Scan to Sketch class that Joel teaches, where we talk about the mobile application, how to use that, and Scan to Sketch is part of that. And this is not sponsored. This is not a paid advertisement. I just, when I run across a product that I like, I don't mind bragging on it. From the appraiser standpoint, one of the problems I've always had with sketching on a mobile app is I like to use my phone. So my phone is it's a Pro Max iPhone, but it's still just a phone. And I have fairly large hands, and fat fingering the sketch is a very real thing. What I found with Scan to Sketch is when I follow the process and get all the corners marked just right, my footprint is done. I don't have to fat finger anything. It's just done.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. It's designed for you to do the footprint, do it in the field. You can capture the corners whether you're on the outside of the house or you can do it from the inside of the house, which is sometimes a lot easier on second levels. You get the footprint out in the field, you make sure everything closes, you get your GLA, and you're on your way. There's no wait, there's no delay. You don't get back to the office and have to figure anything out. And so that is why we made it. We kept it really simple.
Yep, I like it. All right, so let me ask you this, Matt. There's a lot of talk. You mentioned this briefly, the UAD mandate. A lot of appraisers are kind of experiencing some level of trepidation about the UAD changes. What do we have to expect from the future of appraisal software with the UAD changes, and how difficult will that transition be for appraisers?
So there's going to be a lot of changes, lots and lots of changes. Our job is to try to keep the workflow and the software as consistent as possible. We don't want you to have to learn a lot of new stuff in software. There will always be things like the quick lists, a map wizard, there's E&O, and there's Smart Start. A lot of the same familiar things are going to be there for you. However, once you're in one of the new reports, Hal, um, some things don't make a lot of sense that we have now in the application. Like you don't really get a list of forms because there's only one form in a report, and
Yep.
so you don't get this forms list, and there's not text addenda pages like we know them. So that's going to be a lot different. For old reports, for the old format, those will all still be available and everything will work exactly the same. But for the new reports, we've changed up some things because otherwise you would trip over some of those features.
Yeah. And I it's really hard to get our heads around not saying form anymore. There is no form.
Yeah.
All the forms have gone away. It's one report builder. There are changes afoot for us as appraisers. Matt, thank you for being here. Congratulations on Software of the Year for Scan to Sketch. I can't say, I can't say enough good about the product. Using it in the field is super easy. If you're an appraiser out there and you're an a la mode user and you're not using Scan to Sketch and you're not using the mobile app, I beg you, consider starting to learn it because it will make your life so much easier as the UAD process rolls out.
Yeah. Now thinking about mobile and that transition to the new report, Hal, appraisers using a mobile tool and entering data in the field will totally have an advantage over appraisers that don't. First, our mobile tool, it prompts you for all the required questions and knows when to pop up additional fields based on your prior entries. For example, when you choose driveway for the vehicle storage, there's different required fields than if you chose garage. And we have a lot of logic built in that tells you when you've got all the data you need and you're done. We're going to tell you, okay, you got all the stuff, you can move on. The next thing is that the new report requires images to be placed in the section with your data. Behind the scenes, they get categorized as water feature or car storage. And sometimes an extra caption is absolutely required, sometimes not. You just don't have them all in pages at the end of the report. So our mobile app is going to walk you through all that. And I imagine people that are resistant to a mobile app, and there's going to be people that are going to do these things on paper, and it's not going to be, they're going to do it. I assume you're going to take a bunch of photos while you're walking around the property and then try to figure it all out back at the office, going photo by photo. Think about trying to match up the order in which you took photos with the order of the GSE report and jumping back and forth and trying to then fill out the form on screen, which you can do, but I think it's going to be very inefficient and you could miss things, right? And so our mobile app is designed so you won't miss things out in the field. So I think that's a really big reason to go with the mobile app. There's so many changes I could talk about. I was going to talk about how our commentary, is text only and goes right in the section, and that's going to affect a lot of our templates and canned comments and things, but I think we'll all get over that.
Yeah, I think you're right. And look, I literally had this conversation with an appraiser in a class today where they said, I still use a clipboard. I still use a digital camera. I like the process. I like the workflow. And I'm literally thinking, you can take the photos with your iPhone inside the app and the photos know exactly where they're supposed to go based on where you took them and where in the report you are. So again, Matt, thank you for taking the time to be here.
You're welcome.
I'm so excited that you guys are the winners of the Buzzy Award for Software of the Year. I can't say enough good things about Scan to Sketch. Appraisers out there, again, if you are still using a clipboard and still using a digital camera, now is the time to get yourself in gear to start using a mobile app in your appraisal process. I think it'll make your life a lot easier. Matt, I need to do one thing real quick and take a quick break and hear from one of our sponsors, and we will be right back.
Intercorp, a division of Norman Spencer, has your back. Comprehensive insurance coverage from a team that's always there when you need them. The team at Norman Spencer is ready to roll up our sleeves and dig into your toughest insurance questions. We're committed to appraisers and AMCs. Intercorp's programs are tailored specifically for the appraisal industry. Put our experience to work for you. Please contact Susan Lomeli, Lomeli, at norman-spencer.com to discuss your insurance needs.
Welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the Appraisal Buzzcast. I'm Hal Humphreys, your host. I'm joined today by Matt Codell from CoreLogic. We're talking about the fact that they won Software of the Year through the Buzzy Awards for Scan to Sketch. Now, Matt, my producer here at the Appraisal Buzz podcast, likes to trip me up as much as possible with what he calls the anonymous appraiser question. I think sometimes he's out there just making these things up to make my life difficult. Jim Morrison, do we have an anonymous appraiser question for this week's episode?
We do. And, this one may be more of an anonymous appraiser rant than an anonymous appraiser question, but we'll see how it goes.
Never happens.
If anybody does have any questions for our guests, reach out to us at comments@appraisalbuzz.com. But yeah, this one might be more of a rant. All right. So
Let's hear it.
Sorry. This person says, just a question. Why is the lender's address relevant to anything? It's ultimately, of course, my responsibility to look at the address on the engagement letter. I've just had a few where I used the lender dropdown on total and missed the orders from a different branch than the last 20 assignments were, or where there's a mortgage company that uses 10 different branches on the order form. It's just faster to re-enter the address than the one it chooses from the 10 options to find the one that matches. I know a lot of people are nervous about the new forms, and of course the changes we faced and will face will be more and more annoying than this, but it'd be magical if the lender address disappeared.
Matt, you want to tackle that one?
Sure. The lender address. So I don't have power to make the fields on the form become required or not required. I don't have that much sway. But what this tells me, and I could see that this is a problem. Our job at Alamode is to try to make form data entry like as easy and fast as possible, and to try to reduce as many steps as possible. So I hear a thing like this, and I think, gosh, we should try to do something to make this easier. We did something a while back by having a contact database that's in there, that at least gives you that drop down. Probably when we made that feature, probably didn't think about different branch offices, and how that works. So what this sounds to me like is an opportunity for us to do something to accommodate that situation a little bit better. I'm sorry that this, a person, got stuck on this, that this got somebody. So to me, it's an opportunity for us to do our jobs better.
Oh, I love that answer. I love that answer because I didn't have to answer it because I couldn't answer it. And I like it because you see this as an opportunity to make the appraiser's life a little bit easier if you can. I think realistically, you're a software engineer. You went to school for this. You've been doing it professionally for a long time. For those of us out here in the world, it's like we think to ourselves, it ought to be easy to do X, Y, or Z. But a lot of times there's 85 steps behind the scenes that have to be done to make one thing on the user interface work properly. So thank you for being willing to consider this as an opportunity and a way to, see if there's something that could be done differently.
Oh, my pleasure.
Jim Morrison, do we have anything else we got to cover?
No, thank you so much, Matt, for representing CoreLogic. We appreciate you guys. We're excited to have you as the inaugural Buzzy Award winner for Software of the Year. We're looking forward to giving you the trophies in person at Valuation Expo in August. But thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Thanks for the award.
Absolutely.
Tickled that you guys won it. We literally had nothing to do with the choice of the award. It was put out to the appraisal population, and they made their decisions. We just tallied the votes. But congratulations.
Thank you,
Matt. If we have nothing else, for Jim Morrison at Matt Codell, I'm Hal Humphreys, and that is your Appraisal Buzzcast for this week.